of myself and David Gantz, the director of the National Transportation Library, I want to formally welcome all of you to today's Transportation Librarians Roundtable. I'm sorry about the delay, slight delay in getting things started here. Appreciate your patience and also your attendance. Before I formally introduce our speaker for this hour, I'd like to turn the microphone over to David Gantz, and David is going to go over some basic housekeeping rules for all of us to keep in mind. Go ahead, David.
Well, thanks, Bob. David Gantz, Director of the National Transportation Library. We just have some basic ground rules. That is, please keep your mic muted at all times unless it's during the Q&A. When we ask that you turn on both your microphone and your camera so we get to see your smiling face as part of that participatory process. I would also ask that if any of you are calling in only, we only see a telephone number, so if you would email either Bob or myself or the both of us, just so we can capture your attendance appropriately, because we do issue certificates of participation at year's end and want to make sure we have an accurate count of who's present. And as you're aware, we do record these for posterity. The chat feature is turned off so as not to distract during the presentation itself. But the Q&A at the end of the session will give you all the opportunity to interact with our presenter. And with that, back to Bob for the introduction. Thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you, David. Today we are indeed in for a great great presentation, and as a starting point, of course, the title of our presentation is A Tale of Three Websites: National RTAP, Resource Share, and TACL. Very literary sounding title, of course. And I want to go ahead now and introduce our speaker for this hour. She is, of course, Kara Marcus. Kara, Resource Center Manager, joined National RTAP in 2017. Kara graduated from Rhode Island School of Design with a bachelor's degree in graphic design, and from Simmons College with a master's degree in library and information science. Kara has served as a library manager and researcher for over 25 years, including posts at Harvard University, Kennedy School of Government, and the Massachusetts Health Data Consortium. Kara's published works have centered upon library management, accessibility for persons with disabilities, and verbal education, including a chapter on transportation in the Handbook of Rural Aging, which was published by Routledge in 2020, just this year, 2021. Kara was awarded a Historical Resources Preservation Award in 2018 for her book entitled Watertown Square Through Time, based in Massachusetts. As I mentioned to Kara before we started here, I look forward to reading that book one of these days soon. Kara is the project lead for TACL, the National Transportation Technical Assistance Coordination Library that contains peer-reviewed resources from the Federal Transit Administration and its 5 technical assistance centers. Kara serves on the National Transportation Knowledge Network Communications Committee and the TRB AJE 45 Information and Knowledge Management Committee. Kara is also a member of the Special Libraries Association's Transportation Division. As that bio shows, Kara is not one just to sit back and take it easy and let everyone else do the work. She is very much an invaluable part of our transportation libraries community in terms of just all of the time and the hard work and the considerable expertise she puts into everything that she takes on. And we're very lucky to have her in our community, and we're extra lucky to have her today as our speaker. So without any more delay on my part, I want to now officially ask Kara to give us your presentation. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Bob, for that introduction. And thank you, Bob and David, for inviting me here today. I'm delighted to be here in front of the Transportation Librarians Roundtable. And I'm going to share my screen. And now I'm going to share my slideshow. The wonders of technology. Now you see the title page, which does give a literary illusion, A Tale of Three Websites, National RTAP, Resource Share, and TACL. And I'm going to go through each of them and hopefully, if we have time, do some live demos. So A Tale of Three Websites. Where have you heard something like that before? Well, since most of you are librarians, I'm sure you can remember. But if not, I'll let you know. It's Charles Dickens. I got that from A Tale of Two Cities, which of course starts with, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. So a lot of you know that quote, but do a lot of you know this quote from humorist Art Buchwald? Whether it's the best of times or the worst of times, it's the only time we've got. Well, that's certainly true. Now, here's an even newer quote that probably nobody of you have heard because this is the first time I'm saying it. It's always the best time to go to the library. So with that, let's learn about the National RTAP Library. So National Rural Transit Assistance Program, or National RTAP as we're known, is a technical assistance center funded by FTA, the Federal Transit Administration, through the Section 5311 Rural Formula Funds program. We provide free, and everything we do is free and full text, training materials and technical assistance to rural and tribal transit providers and to state RTAP programs. There's an RTAP program in every one of our 50 states, as well as the US territories. We're governed by a review board, which is a 15-member board composed of state DOT managers and rural and tribal transit agency managers and staff. And everything we do, they have a hand in. They review our resources, they provide guidance. We really consider them just more than we can ever ask for in a review board. Very valuable. And our offices, and we are back at work, are in Massachusetts, that's our headquarters, and our executive offices are in Washington, D.C. We also have other staff working in different states. And I think we're a really great team. So you can learn more at nationalrtap.org. And you'll notice that if you've seen our website, the screenshot I have doesn't look exactly like our website does now. It's a sneak preview at our new website, which is what I'm going to talk about and do a little demo of after the PowerPoint part of the presentation, about how we have developed our website through the years, how we are developing a brand new one now, and how the library is really at the center of it. So let's go back in time. 34 years ago, National RTAP was established. Just recently, July 1st, 1987, we celebrated our birthday. And one of the most important first year goals was starting a National RTAP Resource Center. So right from the beginning, the Resource Center at the library was really a big, big goal. And you can see this screenshot of our first newsletter, the Rural Transit Assistance Program Bulletin, which is in our newsletter archives. That's something we did this past year. Digitized all of our newsletters. And now you can see a picture of the National RTAP Resource Center of today. It looks a little different than most libraries. It's a beautiful small room. My assistant works at that desk that you see in the corner. And we have a table for people to read and do projects. But the books themselves, they're stacked a little differently than most libraries because we produce, which means research, write, project manage, edit, and have our books published by local printers ourselves. They're unique books. They're all training manuals for rural and tribal transit managers and staff. And like I said, they're all free. Rather than loan them and have them returned, we give them to the agencies that need them for training. So our resource center is also a shipping center. This photo, and I don't know if Michael Molina's on this TLR today, but when he did his last presentation for NTKN, I was so inspired by his virtual library. I took the photo of our smaller library and virtualized it in a similar way to his. So I might get to show you that because that will be on our new website too. So our website through the years, remember I said way back in 1987, the library was always sort of front and center. Well, I certainly wasn't here at National RTAP in 1987, nor in 2001 or 2005 or even 2016. I came on board in 2017, but I will say that everybody, including senior leadership, our review board, our funders, everybody has just been so supportive and embracing of the Library and Resource Center. As you can see on our website, even in the beginning, even in sort of first generation website, resources were right on the homepage. What's new? 2005, new publications. In 2016, our website was getting more modern. And what's right at the top? Find information and resources. Visit our resource library. So as we have gone from a first generation website to the 2020 website is the one you'll see right today at nationalrtap.org. You can see that the Resource Center is really a big, big part of the organization. So how are we developing our new website? We've been working on it for about 1.5 years, and we're really, really, really close. You can get in touch with me for the exact launch date, which I don't know now, but I will soon. But it's been a really big project. Over 200 pages. Just our toolkits alone are like encyclopedias. So we had to migrate everything to a new platform. We wanted to streamline navigation. That's a big goal. You saw the buttons in the last slide. We only have a few buttons now, but with everything that you'll need. We wanted greater interactivity and a modernized look and feel. We convened a committee, myself, our assistant director, our analyst, 2 very, very talented and forward-thinking graphic designers, and 2 brilliant information systems professionals. And I've been at every meeting, selecting images, helping to edit content, helping to determine page structure, etc. We're using our own product, National RTAP's web application, which is called Website Builder 2.0, which if you are a rural or a tribal transit agency or a state RTAP program, you can use too. So you can see the little image on the right, how easy it's going to be for me to keep the content updated once the new website launches. Go to pages. I need to change something. Dun, da, 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 put the resource of the month on it. I'm very excited about working with this new website. So we're going to have a mega menu. Resources, which actually, since I made this slide, like I said, we've been meeting regularly and changing it a lot. One of our review board members said, the resources are the important thing for people to find first. Put that right after home. So when you'll see the new website, you'll see resources even closer to home. But we have so much in our resource center, our library, our catalog, topic guides, and it goes on from there. I'm certainly not going to be able to demo everything, but hopefully I will show you a page or 2. So now we're going to move on to something that you can see now, and you might have seen already. It's our library's OPAC, Online Public Access Catalog, or ILS, or whatever you librarian folks want to call it acronym-wise. And we've called it Resource Share for many years, again, before I got here. But my big project when I started in 2017 was doing a revamp with Resource Share. So been here for almost 4 years now and really done a lot with it. You can sort in many, many ways to find resources. We have about 700 or so resources. About 200 of them are our own. And like I said, everything is free and full text. You can search by subject. You can search by subtopic. You can search by format. All of you who manage libraries, I'm sure you have similar ways to search, but we're pretty proud of this one. We also did a special way to search by transit personnel, which we call resources by roles. And one exciting thing, Resource Share is truly meant to share. We've created citations for every single one of our resources. For the citations from TRB, NAS, we've used suggested citations, but for pretty much everything else, we've used a really simplified citation. So you can add Resource Share, permanent URLs and citations to everything. And even better, if you want our library on yours, you can use our Resource Share widget and just copy the code and have an entire library that's constantly being updated of rural transit resources on your own website. So like everybody, we have a collection development policy. We also have our own collection development model. It's the Forest model. This was something I did a couple of years ago, and we use it for both weeding, updating, and collecting. So Forest stands for format, oldest or newest, rapidly changing topics, ease to update or ease to find something new, substantial utilization, look at those stats. And we always do a training about a national RTAP product that was updated, including this one today. So right now we're starting our annual summer weeding, and we're also starting our first annual summer reading, starting a book discussion group. So contact me offline if you're interested in that. And our Resource Share and Resource Library also links to our resource catalog. So our catalog is just our own resources. Clickable resources, everything that we produce, like problem passengers, customer-driven service, etc. That's available in print, disk or thumb drive, e-learning formats, and by roles. So if you're only looking for resources that are for drivers or resources that are for mechanics, you'll be able to give them a whole succession planning list of training resources. So we ship our catalog to all new RTAP managers. We put it out at conferences that we go to, and it is, of course, on our website. So like Bob said, I'm pretty busy. Some of my roles, besides research for library patrons, include research for these products, project management and production of resources, including but not limited to training modules, online toolkits. We're currently working on updating our Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA toolkit, technical briefs. Right now I'm working on an update to a livability technical briefs, and there's a few others in the pipeline. Best practices spotlight articles, and social media content. So our next social media event is Rural Transit Day, and that is July 16th, and you are all welcome to join our Twitter chat. So the process for developing our products, the photo is showing one of our training card products, Essential Spanish for Rural Transit, which is common phrases that drivers and riders ask and explain. So the process often includes developing an RFP, request for proposals, for subject matter experts, conducting first-person interviews, overseeing multiple reviews by a review board and other experts, and graphic design. So it's a lot of work and a lot of fun. Now, TACL is something fairly new. It launched in January of this year, and the long name of it is the Transportation Technical Assistance Coordination Library. And we didn't want to call it TACL, so we just call it TACL. It provides a sustainable methodology and platform for access to resources across a diverse range of transportation technical assistance centers and FTA. So I'm not going to read you all of the names and acronyms for the other technical assistance centers, but you can go into TACL and you'll find links to them. TACL is easy to find. It's on our national RTAP website. It's on all FTA and the TA centers websites. And we have an easy URL, transportation-tacl.org. If you forget the dash, you'll still get there. If you put in a www, you'll still get there. We covered it all, so we hope you visit. Right now, we are having a TACL survey because we want to know if and how people are using it, and we want feedback on how we can make it better. We really, really want to make it the best transportation technical assistance coordination library it can be. So please contact me offline if you want a link to the survey, because it would be great to have some librarians and knowledge managers take an expert look at it. So you might be wondering, why was TACL created? Well, the US Government Accountability Office, GAO, published a report called Public Transportation: Enhanced Federal Information Sharing on Coordination Could Improve Rural Transit Services. So we convened a task force. I am the lead on that, to develop a technical solution to coordinate coordination resources. Redundant pun accepted, but we want to coordinate as much as we can. So we launched TACL in less than a year. And it's been very, very well utilized. We've been looking at the stats, and we really would like people to let us know what they want in it. And since we have all these technical assistance centers, we're ready to write. So right now, TACL has 75 coordination resources in it. The platform is TDNet. So it's a very robust library system. And we have case studies, webinars, learning modules, technical briefs, trends reports, all kinds of things. You can limit TACL resources by subjects. You can limit by date. You can limit to specific TA centers, like if you just want to see FTA resources. You can limit by tags. We've included all kinds of tags and acronyms to help you search, and by transportation resource thesaurus, TRT terms, to really get the kind of results that librarians want. So you can search, you can do a simple keyword search, you can do an advanced search, you can title equals or keywords like, and it will show you your Boolean search at the bottom, and they're very, very easy to revise and get the results that you want. That is the end of my formal presentation, and I'm going to open the floor up to questions. And with questions, I would want to sort of show some things, but actually, maybe if we have time, I can just show a few preview pages of the new website before we start the questions. Is that okay, Bob?
That'll be great.
Okay, wonderful. Very, very excited about this. So you're among the first people, other than our committee, to see pages in the new website. You can see it's built on our website builder platform. And one of the exciting things, we're having these parallax banners that have some interactivity. This is one we had a photographer. I remember going on that photo shoot to take pictures of beautiful rural buses. And you can find out about our history. And one of the things I wanted to do was a history timeline. So I scoured our archives and found all of our milestones, and our graphic designers built this really nice timeline that goes down, and you can see 2021, it will go further and further as the years go on. So if we go into the resource library, here's the mega menu, and you can see resources is right after home now. I want to show, again, thank you to Michael for the inspiration. Take a virtual tour of our own library. And it's smaller than some of the dot libraries, but what I did was a lot of information about the different things, including our staff, you can find in our resource library. So that's exciting. And I want to show you also resources, the webinars page. In addition to our library, we have sort of now a library of webinars. There's our TACL. If you want to learn more about TACL, you can register and you'll have a whole hour's worth of training on TACL. You can view our recent webinars. And this is something that's going to be brand new. You can search by keyword and find webinars just about those types of things. You can also limit it if you're looking for a webinar. Oh, I remember I saw one in 2014, or by topics. Now, if you just want to find out about, say, safety and security, you'll find some we did about COVID, Transit Managers Toolkit, etc. So it's really, really nice. And you can see all of these different parallaxes on different pages. We're going to have a new page about our technical briefs. You can see what they look like. And they'll all have links. So you don't have to scour through a catalog to find them. Yep. You can look for them there. Oh. So let's go back to questions. And I'll wish you all a happy Rural Transit Day ahead of the game, but I'm ready for any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Kara. If anybody has questions, as we've been doing past couple of times with this new format, if you want to raise your hand, and if I don't seem to be calling on you, feel free to call out my name too. I think somebody may have just raised a hand though. I think I saw Elaine there. Am I correct about that? Yeah, Elaine. Feel free to offer your question or comment. Just make sure you're unmuted. Well, while we're waiting for Elaine, a wonderful presentation, Kara. Really appreciate it. I see that Michael Molina has a question. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Kara, can you hear me okay?
Hi, Michael.
Great job. This is really cool looking. We're always looking for ways to redo our website, and you've given me a lot of great ideas. And I was wondering, the platform you're using for this website, you said it was Website Builder. Is that the platform you're using, or how are you constructing this?
Website Builder is one of our web apps. We have a number of them, and like I said, they're used by Any rural or tribal transit association or state RTAP program, and they're completely free. We have excellent technical support. So we are up to our newest website builder, but we've had it since 2011. This is version 3.0. We have some other websites that you can look at. They're transit agency websites who have created websites using the same platform that they are live. And these have all kinds of exciting things, trip planners, rider alerts. It's very, very interactive. Aside from the pages that I showed you on our draft website, you know, a lot of the agencies have done really amazing things. So all you would have to do if you're a transit agency, click on create my website, log in. I'm not going to actually do that, but you create what we call a cloud account, and those work for all our apps, including Resource Share, and get started with very, very easy to use templates. The product features are the templates, a drag and drop editor, mobile editing, really very, very easy and fun to use. So like I said, I can't wait to use it.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And Michael, I do want to follow up on what Kara mentioned a couple of times during her presentation. 3 cheers to you as well for providing a good level of inspiration there with respect to the virtual library.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to see it being spread around, so that's always exciting.
Right. Any other questions or comments? Elaine, I see you still have your hand raised. I just realized you are on mute. If you can unmute yourself, then ask your question, that'll be great. If not, if anybody else has any questions or comments, well, while we're waiting for that, Kara, I do want to take this opportunity. First of all, as some of you might recall from one of my email announcements leading up to today, I had made a point of highlighting not only Kara's enthusiasm, but also her expertise and also her creativity. And on the subject of creativity, I'm hoping that you could give us a little bit of information on that wonderful background you have there with the transportation theme.
Okay. Well, thank you, Bob. You might have seen on our current library, we have this beautiful photo, and I showed you one that's going to be on our new website. And Susan Simmons Photography was the photographer that we used. We went out to Acton, Massachusetts, and took a photo of a beautiful rural bus. And the background that I did was a watercolor painting of this scene. So we use it in a lot of presentations, and it can be used really if anybody wants it. I'm happy to share, like everything in National RTAP. If you want a rural bus watercolor background, just let me know. I have some other ones too. But it's really, there's so many creative people in transit. I've met people who grow their own, what was it, popcorn? Somebody sent that to me, a transit manager. Certainly a lot of artists and musicians. It's really a very, very creative field to be in transportation. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Karen. And 2 thumbs up on that wonderful image. So it's great to see. I'm going to ask Bob Sweet if he has a question or comment for you.
Hi, Kara. I'm wondering about the audience for your website. Do you have people from the general public using your site? Do you keep usage statistics?
Oh gosh, we have people from all over the world. I keep the stats for visitors both to our library and our website. I think every single country, I wouldn't be surprised if there's people from Jupiter looking at it, but if there are any. But we do certainly allow and welcome the public to use our website. I created this one in the How to Find Anything Toolkit page that's assisting people with finding transportation. Because I get calls an awful lot from people who might not have a bus in their neighborhood or might not know what bus goes to their neighborhood, and they're in a rural area and they want to know, how do I get to the hospital? How do I get to the library? And I help them. We partner with all of these great VA centers like NCMM, who has a database of volunteer drivers, the Elder Care Locator, that I should know exactly who it's from. I think ACL. Yep, ACL and AOA. And I've developed a sort of small database. It's really just an Excel spreadsheet with as many as I can find of rural transportation providers in different states and towns. And if they need help getting somewhere, we really try to do our best to get them where they need to go.
Yeah.
So yes, please send the public who needs transportation our way if they're in a rural area.
Well, thank you, Bob. If anybody else has any questions or comments for Kara, again, please just a show of hands virtually. I did want to take this opportunity, though, Kara, and in the one slide you were describing what was the various things that were taken into consideration that had to be reviewed with respect to the development of the website, and you. One of those things that you bulleted there was greater interactivity and modernized look and feel. Just picking out that particular category, were there any particular challenges with respect to trying to get that figured out? I could see how it could kind of go one of both ways. Was it smooth sailing, or were there some rough waters there in terms of just trying to get everybody to get a handle on that particular aspect?
You know, it's interesting. I've been in a lot of committees where there's been meetings where there's been a lot of opinions, but we've all, like I said in the slide, really, really worked well together. You know, everybody in our committee has their own special talents and expertise, but we've worked as a team to like with the topic guides, choosing the icons for the guides. The graphic designers did these, but there were some, I remember, with alternative fuels. The first one that was selected was a gas pump. And I said, well, we sort of want the opposite of that. We want something that's environmentally more sustainable than gasoline. So, but yeah, we worked really, really well with working together to get the best icons, photos, layouts. You know, this has gone through, you can imagine, meeting sometimes twice a week, sometimes once a week, at worst every other week, to, you know, just review our progress. And it has undergone hundreds of different changes with little tweaks, and I'm sure when we launch it soon, it'll be just great. We're very excited about it. So I'd say for working with a committee or task force on a big project like that, just work together, trust each other, just take all the time you need, get a lot of input from everybody in the committee, make sure you're all equally having a role, because Like I said, I'm the resource center manager. We have people whose official title is a graphic designer. We have an assistant director who's also a planner, and we have information systems people, but we've all had great input on the design, on the photos, on the icons, on the layouts. So when we meet, and our analysts too, when we meet, you know, it's not just this person's in charge of that or that person's in charge of that. It's equality and a great group.
Well, it certainly sounds like it was a first-rate team effort there. Just to quickly not to take up too much time because I'm sure other people have questions and comments, but just to piggyback on kind of what I was asking before as well. And you were emphasizing, you know, how everybody did bring their own wealth of talents and perspectives into the whole process. You said you all be met online over the past year and a half. I'm strongly assuming, of course, that was a result of the COVID restrictions and everything. But overall, I guess this is more so you're asking your opinion than anything else. Do you think that turned out to be a good way to have it in it as opposed to in person, however else you would have been doing it? I'm strongly guessing having an online collaboration for this kind of thing actually was probably just about the most ideal thing. I don't know if you feel otherwise, though.
Well, you know, for this particular project, we had a small group, but most of us were in one state and 2 of us were in another state. So even if we weren't in COVID times, we still would have chosen to work in an online platform. And another reason is because this is an online project. I'm in the preview mode. I certainly don't want to be doing anything in the editing mode during a webinar. But when we meet, we're in the editing mode, so we can all make changes on the fly. Somebody can say, oh, try like a light blue tint there. And we can actually try it. We can all see it right then and there. And oh, no, darken that up a little. You know, it's so easy to use an online platform for an online project such as this. For our TACL project, we're all over the place. We are in every single one of the TA centers is in a different site. So again, it was, you know, no real choice but doing it online. I don't think people would have wanted to come every single month to Woburn, Massachusetts to try to meet about this. So yeah, that also worked out really, really well. A similar process, we use Zoom, and I would have TACL open. I can actually, with TACL, I don't mind showing you a little bit about how I administrate. If I were to go to pages and I were to go to home and say I wanted to change something, all I would have to do is say I wanted to make the website a little bigger or smaller, the logo a little bigger or smaller, I would do that. We are supposed to get another TA center at some point, so I would add them here. It's really easy to use. And I also get my where is it? So the reports and statistics. Report statistics. So we've had, since we launched TACL in January, 2,396 searches, which is good to know. And I can look at geography. You were asking, are our users, again, and it went to June, but I'm not gonna, but you can see there's someone in Austria, China, Canada, Ireland, and the same with say, I'm not going to go into National RTAP for that, but you'll see users all over the place, which is nice. Really nice to be global.
Absolutely. Very interesting. Thank you. According to my clock, this has been wonderful. According to my clock, though, we have about 10 minutes or so. So again, if anybody has any questions or comments, the sands in the hourglass are steadily dropping away there. I did want to just quickly highlight a couple of other things I really like. I like the history chronology, that timeline of milestones there for RTAP. I really like that feature there. Also, the collection development model of Forest. Just to make sure I'm understanding correctly, Kara, is that something you came up with, or
That is correct.
That was okay. That was of your making. Okay.
A few years ago. Well, it's because we produce our own resources, I wanted something that we could use as a model, mainly for updating. So when we look at what should we update next, certainly the what's the oldest is an important feature, but it's not the only one. It's much easier to update technical briefs than it is to update toolkits. So I'm always updating a technical brief in between everything else. And rapidly changing topics, technology, we're always doing webinars on like GTFS because that changes a lot, and technology and things like that, and certainly legislation. Ease to update some of our things, if it takes 5 minutes to just update something, I'd rather do it then than have that sit in the inbox for a long time. People say, "Oh, I don't want to bother you, but did you notice that that link isn't working?" And I say, "That actually needs to bother. I'm thrilled that you told me that. Let me fix it right now." Substantial utilization. You saw we just look at data a lot for everything, for even, what people look at, and I do all the social media for National RTAP. People are looking at a social media on a particular topic. I'd say, hey, this is a trending topic. I should put it in our hot topics toolkit, topic guide, sorry. And with training, as soon as we finish something, we try to do a training on it. So yeah, we use Forest a lot for pretty much everything, but we also rely on our research review board to tell us what they would like us to update. And of course, if FTA wants us to update something or produce something new, we do that as well. And they have a lot of great ideas.
Okay, great. I really liked it in the way you have it all organized there, and I was getting my feeling was that you did indeed come up with that. I think you maybe even actually said that, but wanted to be sure. But I really like it. But very, very, very well done. Thank you, and thank you for elaborating on it. I don't know if we have any other questions or comments. I might as well use this opportunity, Kara, to follow up on the biographical information I shared with everyone earlier. Just in terms of RTAP, I want to ask whether you enjoy working at RTAP or anything. I think you do, and plus I wouldn't want you to say anything that might be overheard by other people. So there, your workplace. But in terms of RTAP, I think if I recall the bio that I read within the past hour, you've been there since 2017. What led you there? What was the route you took? Is there any particular story that one day you weren't working for RTAP and the next day you were? How did you get there?
RTAP just appeared when I was finishing up some consultant work, finishing up a long-term project, finishing up having my book published by Arcadia Publishing. And I didn't want to do more consulting work. I did start another book, but I wanted to get back in a library. So I just started job hunting through all the normal channels. And I saw this National Rural Transit Assistance Program. And I said, that looked amazing. And it's not too far from me. So I applied and I was called in for an interview. And I remember I was asked, so what experience do you have in transit? And I'm thinking, a great question. That's a typical librarian answer. And I said, I love transit. I ride the bus all the time. In fact, I'd rather ride the bus than drive. And when I was writing my book that's going to be published next month, I got in touch with the MBTA, Massachusetts Transit, and asked them if I could take pictures of their buses, and got some beautiful photos of their amazing buses. So I ostensibly told them, no, I didn't really have that much, hands-on transit experience, but I also said I can learn anything. And I remember I also said, I remembered an interview I had early on, right after library school. I had applied for a law librarian job, and I also didn't have any experience in a law library. So that interviewer said, well, if you have what it takes, we could train you. You don't have to have experience. So I remembered that. And now I just love transit even more. It's a fascinating topic. And this place is just so cool. I hope that once we really open our in-person doors, if any of you are in the Boston area, greater Boston area, you'll consider a trip here. We have had visitors. We've had people from library associations and transit trainers come, and everybody loves a visit to the library. You'll leave with all kinds of books and special gifts, and you'll have the tour of your lifetime. So
Great. Well, that's an offer I don't think any of us can refuse. That sounds great, and I will remember that, because as I indicated, I think earlier with you, Kara, I do have family up there, so I'm bound to end up back in Massachusetts one of these days.
Oh, that would be great, Bob. And Framingham is not far from Woburn. It's, less, maybe 45 minutes to an hour without traffic. And it's a really nice area too. You can get from here to a lot of North Shore beaches, and it's a nice place to visit in general.
All right, you sold me on it. Framingham, by the way, as I mentioned to Kara earlier, is where my mother grew up, and of course other relatives still live in the area there. So very good. Well, thank you, Kara. We are approaching the top of the hour here. I do want to mention, I didn't make the connection, but that book you wrote about Watertown Square was an Arcadia publication, and that makes you only the second published Arcadia author that I've met. Another one was somebody from my own area here who did a book on Baltimore streetcars several years ago. So you're only the second one. So I'm very impressed. I love those Arcadia books. I love looking at the photos and just the information that's included with them and everything. So I almost feel like I'm talking to a celebrity now.
Yeah, it was a very, very fun book to write. Nothing to do with National RTAP, but it does have, as you can see, transportation in it. And we had really a history of transportation. So I took a lot of the photos and, like through all the Through Time books, tried to get the exact angle. You can see things sure look different in the 1800s, but there's still a square, or maybe it's more of a circle. I don't know what it is, but it's an amazing place. And if you come to visit the library and you want a tour of Watertown Square through time, let me know too, and that I can certainly arrange. Okay.
Oh, great. And look, like I said, look forward to reading that book. Well, we need to wrap up soon. However, Mary Lee, I think you have a question or comment. Just be sure to unmute yourself.
Yep, just a very quick question. Kara, is the book group that you're starting up, is that still on August 18th?
August 16th is Rural Transit Day. So we're really doing a lot. We have a Twitter chat, and it's Rural Transit Day with the little hashtag before it. So if any of you tweet and want to say something great about your own rural transit hero or something interesting about a rural transit topic, we hope you join us. It's between 2 to 3 p.m. You're all welcome. We're having a contest where we'll give a Rural Transit Day t-shirt to the first person and the person with the most likes for something. So watch for that during the Twitter chat. And the book discussion group is different. So let me show you that too. That is something I'm starting this summer. It's called Books in Transit. And Books in Transit Discussion Group. We're meeting August 18th, 2021, again between 2 and 3 p.m. We try to do that because our friends on the West Coast and even in the territories, it's sort of an easy time for everybody. And it's going to be virtual, but again, we'll, invite people to Woburn when we're able to. So we're reading John Steinbeck's novel, The Wayward Bus is our first book. All of the books will be fiction about buses and bus drivers. So just go to nationalrtap.org, click on Technical Assistance, Peer Roundtables and Chats, and register and start reading The Wayward Bus. And hope you can join us.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you, Mary Lee, for asking about that. Well, unfortunately, this has been wonderful. As always, the Q&A portion of the hour is almost as enjoyable and informative, if not more enjoyable and informative than the presentations themselves. But I think there's certainly been, in equal measure, a great presentation and a great follow-up in terms of the questions and comments and Kara's responses to all of that. So unfortunately, we need to get ready to sign off here. It's been a wonderful TLR. Thanks to our distinguished speaker. And also, on behalf of myself and David, I appreciate all of you taking the time to join us. And again, for your patience at the start of the hour here. But I think everything went well overall. So please, first of all, I do want to always like to highlight this, and I want to do so now before I forget. This TLR, as with the others, is sponsored by the National Transportation Knowledge Network, NTKN. In terms of any announcements, I don't have any other than the fact that the next TLR will be next month in August. I think I may have already mentioned the email announcements. It looks like we're probably going to go with August 19th or August 26th for that TLR. Please stay tuned for a final decision on that, for news about that. In the meantime, hope that all of you have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. And again, thank you to Kara.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Kara.
Matter of fact, I'll give you another round of applause there. There we go.
Thank you. See you next.
Take care, everyone.
Happy summer.
Happy summer. And happy Rural Transit Day in advance.
Of course. Thank you.